Good afternoon and welcome back to the GrTwodays Championship here with the Ultimate Racing League. We are here for the ProAM League at Sardinia for round two, the second part of the European section. And we are here in the GR2 GT500 cars from 2008. Now, the Pro-Am guys have gone round, they've done their qualifying around this fantastic high-speed circuit with a great backdrop in Italy. And we are getting ready and raring to go to start the race. So we will just have a go down through the grid. We've got 14 drivers on the grid, so nearly a full lobby once again for the Pro-Am League. And then we'll get the race underway. So on pole, HKRT Canados was on pole for round one at Brands Hatch, but unfortunately had a number of issues with other drivers, and which resulted in him losing that pole position. But I believe he finished fourth in round one, so still a very good recovery drive. He'll be looking for some better luck this time round. In second place on the grid, we've got Carlsberg in the Honda NSX GT500. So the Nissan GTR is on pole for this race with the Honda NSX GT500 in second place. Toronto Motorsport in the Mercedes Formula One liveried NSX is in third position on the grid. And in fourth, we have HKRT Paris. Fifth, we've got P. White. In sixth, we've got Muhammad Ali. Pablo Jr. has put it into seventh place on the grid, with Shadow in eighth. Ninth is Sai. 10th, we have GT Mac. And then 11th is HKRT Speed Demon, followed by Vane in 12th, with G Smith in 13th, and Stu Fresh in 14th. So let's get this 32-lap race underway. Unfortunately, there's been a bit of a update with the game, and we've lost a number of the liveries. It's been apparent that it's happening across every area of the game. I've seen many posts on Facebook. So we have got a few generic liveries here on this race as the guys take us round turn one. Nice and clean for the majority there. I don't see anybody off the back spinning, everybody clean. Shadow making a move there on Pablo Jr. Pablo Jr. battling down the inside, trying to protect that move, but Shadow's up to 7th place with Pablo Jr. in 8th. But Shadow's got it all wrong there, so let's see what happened to Shadow. I thought he was through. So he's got the inside line. Oh, he's on the grass, and he's just had to back out as the door was quickly shut by Muhammad Ali making the apex there, and he's dropped back a few places after managing to get a bit further up. And it looks like GT Mac is going to try and take the position from him as well, but he's holding on the inside line of that corner, but that is going to be the outside line when they come down the bottom of the hill for the 90-degree left-hander. There's GT Mac going to just slam it up the inside. He does, and he does Sai as well. Or is it? No, Sai is held on, so they're going to go side by. They're all going side by side up through. Shadow back down to 10th. GT Mac is up into 9th. Can he get a move done on Sai ahead of him as they battle through the fast left-hander? Sai is in the back wall. Shadow's in the wall. Everybody in the wall. Absolute nightmare around that corner. It's so easy to get wrong as GT Mac has a nibble at Sai there, but he just has to settle down. The GT Mac up into 8th and Shadow in 9th. Let's just get back up to the top of the field, see what's happening up ahead as Canados and Carlsberg are looking to battle it out, but Carlsberg dropping back a little bit. A gap then appearing from Paris as P. White looks to send out the inside of Paris into turn one, but he's not quite close enough and he has to back out. He'll sit tight in behind Paris around the next section of the track as everybody else looks to get through nice and cleanly. GT Mac and Shadow still having a Barney in 8th and 9th, and Shadow sends out the inside of GT Mac. GT Mac trying to hold on around the outside, but does look like Shadow's got it done this time around, and Shadow has. He's up into 8th place, and GT Mac is down into 9th. with Vane looking to try and find a way past now as well. But GT Mac isn't going down with that fight. And up ahead you can see Sai is all over the back of Muhammad Ali there. And he's looking to make a move on in the slipstream. He dives to the inside. Side by side, going out to the braking zone for the 90-degree left-hander, who's going to be later on the brakes. They go side by side through the corner, and Sai gets it all wrong, a load of oversteer, and he just has to yield there. And now Shadow is having a look at Sai. Shadow at the inside of Sai. That's going to be the outside line going around the fast left-hander. Can he hold it? Sai rolls off on that inside line and just backs up. And we've got Sai dropping back now, so GT Mac and Shadow have made their way up into those places, and behind Sai, Vane is trying to get past Sai as well. All happening early on, but Duke Fresh there with a 3-second time penalty. Not sure what he's gained that from, unless he's already been into the pits. I'm not sure where he's gained that from. So Canados then in first place as we start lap 3 of this 32 lap race. Carlsberg not far behind, just trying to latch back onto the back of him, but Paris has caught back up and he's looking to try and get into that slipstream of Carlsberg up ahead. P. White hasn't managed to get past Paris. He's he's dropped back a little bit from Paris now, and he's in 4th place. Pablo Jr. in 5th. Muhammad Ali has fended off Shadow and GT Mac and is in 6th place. Shadow is 7th, with GT Max still all over the back of him. These two look like they're going to be having a battle all the way through this race. As it looked like they were going side by side then up the hill, and as they go down the other side towards the 90-degree left where everything happened in the previous race, previous lap, the Shadow has secured that position, and GT Mac is just having to drop back a little bit. Sai, after those early moves he looked like he was making, dropping back to 9th, Vane in 10th, and Speed Demon Toronto Motorsport. Toronto Motorsport's had an absolute horror show start because he was right up there. I think he was 3rd on the grid, and now he finds himself down into 12th. Out the inside of Speed Demon though, but he goes deep, and he's on the grass. Well, that might have been a bit of lag, but I do think he went deep, but he's held on to that 12th place, 11th place, and Speed Demon now in 12th. As Speed Demon picks up the slipstream from Toronto Motorsport as Muhammad Ali dives into the pits at the end of lap 3, along with P. White and Pablo Jr., presumably to get rid of those hard tyres. As Sam Duke Fresh comes around, he's had an absolute horror show start to this race as well, and he is down in 14th and a long way off the back of the pack. Real shame from Duke Fresh there. As we pick back up with the leaders, Canados, Paris is past Carlsberg. The Paris is past Carlsberg. Let's have a quick flip back, see if we can pick up on that. So up through the fast left-hander, Paris gets a good run on him, and into the braking zone. Carlsberg's gone deep, so that's and got all that shape on the grass there, and that's allowed Paris to make the move through nice and easy. Carlsberg is going to have to just roll in behind that slipstream and pick that back up. Shadow of GT Max still slugging it out in 4th and 5th position. Sai in 6th, looking to try and keep an eye on what's going on with them and pounce on any mistakes. 7th is Vane. Toronto Motorsport has made his way up to 8th. Oh, that's virtue of the pit stops from the guys behind him now. Speed Demon in 9th. Smith down in 10th place. And then we've got Ural, Muhammad Ali, P. White and Pablo all having stopped and gone onto the medium tyres straight off of those hards. We're interested to see what they look to try and do. And Duke Fresh there in 14th. He's just got to settle down and start putting some lap times in. This is a 50-minute race, so anything can happen and often does. Oh, as Paris goes wide there and he hits the barrier on the exit. And that's given Carlsberg an interest back in that position. But he tries to go around the inside, but Paris gets the cut back. And now they're side by side down the start-finish straight towards the final corner of this lap. No yielding from either driver. Carlsberg now tucking in behind Paris to pick up that slipstream. Is he going to send one up the inside or drag it around the outside of turn 1 as they come into the braking zone? Who broke earliest? So it looked like Carlsberg was earlier on the brakes, but he's got a better drive out of turn 1, and now they're going to go side by side down into the next into the chicane. Not quite side by side, but definitely bumper to bumper as Carlsberg moves to the inside and let's send one up the inside, but nothing doing there as he has to back off and now tuck back in behind Paris. And this is going to go on for the rest of the lap, provided nobody makes a mistake as they go through the left-hander. Carlsberg gets a good exit. Is it better than Paris? Not quite. But he's going to have that slipstream up the hill and down the other side. So is there going to be a move on here? And you can see in the background GT Mac and Shadow. A little bit of a gap break getting up between them now. And that's going to give Shadow a little bit of breathing space, make him a little bit more comfortable as Carlsberg's still looking to try and find a way past Paris here. Which is now for the lead of the race as Canados has appeared to have gone into the pits. Paris goes deep again, and then Carlsberg in the same place as last lap has a run on him down the inside, but now Carlsberg goes deep and Paris has nowhere to go, and there's a little bit of contact there, and then they're side by side again on the start-finish straight. Going down towards what is technically the final corner, and Carlsberg is taking the lead of this race with Paris in second, but Paris is going to come back at him in the slipstream as they cross the start-finish line. Paris tucked in behind, or just outside of actually. He's not staying in that slipstream. So is he going to send one up the inside? No, he's going to stay where he is. Oh, he is sending one up the inside. Paris goes for the inside line, but he can't quite pull it off, and Carlsberg holds on to the lead. Paris kicking up some gravel as well. Now Shadow is brought into the fray and looking to try and find a way to join these two and get in amongst this battle. Oh, as Paris goes wide there as well, and he's on the grass. That means he's going to have dirty tyres for this left-hander. Is that going to throw him way off, or is he going to just about hang on to the back of Carlsberg and keep hold of that second place? Good line from Paris through that left-hander, so he's managed to hold on. His tyres will be cleaning up as they go down this straight. Can he put the move back on Carlsberg? Oh, he does! He's out of nowhere. I did not see that coming. He went to go for the inside there, but he was not close enough, and thankfully it didn't end up making contact. Could have easily have gone wrong that one, but he really wants to get that position back. He's not happy that he's lost that. And he goes deep again. It's the Shadow. Shadow does well to save it, but Paris is in the barrier again. Dirty tyres as well, but Carlsberg goes deep. And now Shadow is all over the back of Paris. So as they come down the long start-finish straight through the final sort of turn and down towards the start-finish line, we've got Paris tucked in behind Carlsberg, looking and trying to find a way past to take the lead of this race. Shadow just keeping an eye on things as they come into the braking zone. Does Paris send one up the inside? He moves to the inside. He goes to that inside line, but Carlsberg's got it covered right on the outside, using that camber to carry the speed. And now Carlsberg takes us down towards the chicane, and these guys are now three bumper to bumper as Paris on the brakes there, but Shadow looking to try and find a way through as well. As Paris goes deep again onto the grass, but he's all over the back of Carlsberg. Shadow getting in the mix here as well as they go round the long left-hander and off onto the next straight that isn't straight. Paris is going to have a run here. He's up in the slipstream. I think he is close enough to benefit from that slipstream. I think he's going to send one up the inside. Is he going to? He moves to the inside. He's on the brakes and he's done it. He's sent him right up the inside and he's got that move done on Carlsberg. Now Carlsberg has to defend against Shadow as they go through the fast kink section up towards the fast left-hander. Can Paris keep it on the track this time and avoid barrier? He does. He takes a bit of speed out. Shadow does not. And Shadow's in the barrier, and that gives Carlsberg some breathing space and a bit of time then to look at the back of Paris. But now Carlsberg's gone deep and he's kicking up the grass as well, which is dropping him back into the clutches of Shadow. Paris takes the lead of this race. And he's got a good few car lengths now between him and Carlsberg, so some serious breathing space now for Paris. He'll be very grateful of that. And Carlsberg will be kicking himself because he, after the fast left-hander, he could have had a run on him, but got that final turn all wrong, and he's dropped back a little bit. Shadow also hit the barrier and has dropped back as well, and that could have been a battle for this lap, but they have now spread out. So let's take this opportunity to check out the rest of the field. The GT Mac had seen Triano Motorsport planning out from Ireland there. GT Mac dropping off the back of the guys ahead after Shadow broke his spirit in that early battle. Triano Motorsport in 5th place there. You can see just ahead Shadow battling with Carlsberg. Sai in 6th still holding on. 7th is Vane. Muhammad Ali down in 8th. Canados coming back through now after having made his pit stop as well. He's behind Muhammad Ali, who stopped way earlier. And Canados looking to go purple on this lap. Pablo Jr. then in 10th. 11th is P. White. 12th is Speed Demon. 13th is G. Smith. And 14th is Duke Fresh. He's putting in some okay lap times, but they're very sporadic. I don't think he's getting on too well with this track, but he's plucking away. He's learning, as I've said in many of my commentaries before, with regards to Hoyland, who's not been able to make this race with us this time out. Any lap is good experience, so it's great to see him sticking this one out and staying on track and learning all the while. So Perez then still with that nice gap over Carlsberg now, with Carlsberg still having a couple of car lengths from Shadow. Oh, as Perez has put it in the wall! It all turns on its head again as Perez has put it in the wall on turn 1. He's got it all wrong. As they're coming down into turn 1, into the braking zone, goes out, comes back in, he clips the curb and he just ends up going straight on. Really unfortunate, not quite the wall as it looked, but he's picking up all the gravel, no damage, but he's got all that work to do that he'd already done. Really unfortunate for Perez, but now Carlsberg has assumed the lead of this race, but Shadow has got stars in his eyes there, and he's looking and thinking, hang on a minute, Perez is giving up the lead, this is first spot up ahead, I want it, get out of my way, Carlsberg. And he's looking up the inside there. He's going to have the run on him. He's got the slipstream, and I think he is close enough. So is Carlsberg going to go defensive, or are they going to battle it out through turn 1, through the left-hander at the bottom of the hill? So Carlsberg on the brakes manages to secure that position, and now Shadow is going to have to focus on getting this left-hander at the top of the hill nailed on, and then maybe have a run either down into the final, the penultimate corner. Carlsberg clips the barrier, Shadow keeps it clean. And round the penultimate corner they go. Shadow then, all the oversteers, along with Perez as well, all fighting with their cars, as well as GT Mac behind. And GT Mac has just lost a position to Triano Motorsport. Let's have a quick look. So that has happened. So Triano Motorsport just got through in the background there. He's going to have the slipstream as we just go back up and just see if Shadow's going to stick one on Carlsberg going into the first corner. He doesn't, he backs off. So let's go back to Triano Motorsport and GT Mac, and they are holding station as well. 4th and 5th, no attempts there. As Shadow now tucked in behind Carlsberg as we go round go into the chicane, and Shadow is tucked right in behind. He's just going to need a good exit out of this long sweeping, this long left-hander. And he will have a run on him going down towards that turn. He's gone deep there a little bit. I think that's dropped him back. Yeah, it has. It's dropped him back a couple of car lengths. So he's not going to get close enough by the braking zone. So he is going to have to yield that for now. Perez just trying to wrestle his way back onto the back of these two. Triano Motorsport has got that move done on GT Mac, and now GT Mac has Cypher Company as well. Vane having a little bit of a lonely race off the back of that little pack. Canados is now through on Muhammad Ali, both having made their first stop already. Pablo Jr. then looking to battle with P. White. And Speed Demon, oh, well off the back of the pack. I think something might have happened with Speed Demon, maybe, and then G Smith as well. And then Duke Fresh there in 14th place, still plucking away. So Carlsberg, it looks like he might have broken the spirit there of Shadow as side dives into the pits. These three are very evenly matched through this early stage of this race. Perez would be kicking himself. He's on the soft tyres. He would have wanted to have made proper use of those with Shadow and Carlsberg on the mediums. And Toronto Motorsport and GT Mac have got a bit of space between them as well. Vane down in 6th. Like I said, a very lonely race at the moment for him as strategists start to spread out the pack. Calados there in 7th, I believe to be our net leader of this race. Right, so we get pick it back up with the leaders then. So Carlsberg in first place. Just a couple of about 3 or 4 car lengths there between him and Shadow. About the same distance between Shadow and Paris in 3rd as well. Toronto Motorsport has definitely broken the spirit there of GT Mac, who's dropped well off the back of him, as after Toronto Motorsport had that horror start to the race where he lost a load of positions, he's back up to what I believe was his qualifying position in 4th place. Everything looking quite spread out down through the field, with the exception of Pablo and P. White. Pablo having a little look at the rear end of P. White there. We're not quite close enough to be looking to make a move, and it looks like we've got... Oh, he has! Oh no, Pablo and P. White, they were that way round, sorry. My fault, I thought P. White had, while we were watching, put a move on him, but misjudged that one. As we get back up to have a little look, see what's going on up ahead with the top 3 guys, and they are now bumper to bumper. Carlsberg has been taken by Shadow, so where does that happen? The Shadow then. So he had a run on him going down the long back straight. And Carlsberg goes defensive on the inside. Shadow stays to the outside and looks for the cutback, but Carlsberg's there on the apex and there's no way through. But they go through and they were side by side briefly, but Shadow's got that move done before that all-important fast left-hander that they're going through now, and they both get through it cleanly with Shadow out in front and holding on to that first spot. Carlsberg in 2nd, and now Perez closing in on the back of them on those heavily worn soft tyres. As Carlsberg clips that barrier, that's going to cost him a little bit of time there, and Perez is going to start looking interested in trying to get through on these two. As they come into the braking zone with Carlsberg now tucked in behind Shadow, looking to try and wrestle that first place back from him, and Perez just keeping an eye on the situation at the moment. Been a great battle with these 3 guys for this almost first half of this race. neck and neck really in pace when you consider their pace. And if it wasn't for Paris, I think if it wasn't for Paris making that mistake and ending up on the gravel at turn 1, he probably would still have about a second and a half ahead of these guys. And he is all over the shop at the moment. You know, those tyres look to be absolutely destroyed, and he is suffering. With Toronto Motorsport now latching onto the back of him. That's going to give Paris something different to think about. He's gone from being the predator to being the prey, and Toronto Motorsport is going to want to try and get past him as soon as possible. And you can see he's absolutely pushing the limits of the track and that car to try and get through. Paris is diving into the pits, so I did wonder if that was going to be coming. 13 laps on those soft tyres, and Paris is into the pits. So Shadow now stretching his legs a little bit out in front, creating a bit of a gap between him and Carlsberg. As Toronto Motorsport there in third place starts to try and he's lost the slipstream of Paris, but he's going to try and push up to the back of the two guys ahead of him. Very even on tyre wear and even on fuel with Carlsberg, but Shadow has been saving some fuel, so that is going to save Shadow some time in the pits. As we go down and check out the rest of the field, so GT Matt there in fourth. And now we've got a little battle here with Vane, Canados and Muhammad Ali. Canados is the fast mover there with the fastest lap of the race so far, and he's going to be looking to try and put one on Vane as we go round the long left-hander there and onto the back straight, bumper to bumper. Muhammad Ali having a little look at Canados then. So Canados has made his way past Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali is not taking this one lying down. As they come into the braking zone, are they going to send? No, they're not. They're going to hold station behind Vane. Up through the fast kink section onto the fast left-hander. Are they going to get through it nice and cleanly? A little bit of grass there kicked up for Muhammad Ali, and that's going to drop him back a little bit, but in the braking zone, looks like he has dropped back a little bit, but Canados now is going to be tucked right in behind Vane, and that is looking like a move going into turn 1 brewing as we watch. As they come across the start-finish line, Canados getting closer and closer and closer. Which way are they going to go? So Vane goes defensive on the inside line. Canados looking to run it around the outside, and he does. Does he go deep though? He did go a little bit deep. He's had to get on the anchors, and now Vane coming back at him. And Canados there on the outside, so Vane has the inside line into the chicane, and he's back in front. And now Canados goes up the inside of Vane, and they're side by side through the chicane. Little bit of argy-bargy as they go side by side through the second part of the chicane. Now Muhammad Ali is looking to try and get through on the both of them, as they're still side by side, but Canados has just got that. Vane now dives to the inside, but he can't. But he's not quite close enough to find a move, as Muhammad Ali now tucks it in behind Vane. And he's going to have that slipstream. They're both going to have the slipstream. As Vane now all over the back of Canados, looking to try and find a way through. He goes to what will be the outside line as they go side by, not quite side by side. Now Vane looking to go down the inside. And Canados, great defensive driving there from Canados, but he goes deep. And now they're going to be side by side up through this fast kink section. Bumper to bumper, the three of them all the way around this part of these turns. As they come to the fast left-hander, are they going to keep it on the track? And they do. Great stuff from these guys, great battling. Canados comes out the winner of the battle with Vane, and now Vane's got to think about Muhammad Ali fast approaching on his rear, and he's going to have that slipstream going down into turn 1. But he does, so he's getting closer and closer and closer. Which way is he going to go? So Vane goes defensive again into turn 1. Muhammad Ali takes the outside line. Is he going to sling one around the outside? He does! He slings it around the outside. Vane early on the brakes, and Muhammad Ali is through into turn 1 and up into 6th place. Vane dropping to 7th. 2 places lost in as many laps, and he's going to be kicking himself for some great clean battling from these guys. Absolutely great stuff. As it now looks like P. White is having to really defend against Pablo just behind these guys. And just up ahead as well, we've got some battling going on between the leaders, I think. So yeah, Carlsberg is right up with Shadow again, but not quite close enough. So we'll go drop back to where the battle was here. Pablo and P. White as they come into the braking zone for the penultimate corner. P. White clips the barrier on the inside. Now Pablo's going to have a run on him, and he's tucked right in behind. Sorry, wrong part of the track, not the final penultimate corner at all. They're on their way out to the fast left-hander, but as Carlsberg dives into the pits, do they get through clean? No, just about manages to keep it level with the barrier, P. White, and doesn't lose too much momentum. He's going to have dirty tyres, and now Pablo's got the tyre line, and he's got all the drive coming out of that exit, and he's going to be tucked right in behind him, sniffing on those exhaust fumes as they go around the final turn on towards the start finish line. As we also see Trano Motorsport and Vane dive into the pits as well. And Carlsberg comes out of the pits, so these two are going to have to fend off Carlsberg as Pablo looks good on the inside, and he send down the brake, and he can't quite do it. Gets kick off the curb on the inside there, and now P. White can breathe a little bit of sigh of relief as he's got some breathing space, at least for the next corner or two. Just looking up ahead, Muhammad Ali and Canados still battling one out. Muhammad Ali keeping Canados honest there, and he's tucked in behind him. Not quite close enough to have him to move down into the next turn, so we'll just get back and have a little look, see where Pablo is getting on with his battle with P. White here. They come down into the breakers over the turn, left-hand turn. Carlsberg now out on a hard tyre, so he's getting his hard tyre stint done this time around, so I don't know how long he's planning on staying out, but we shall see as Shadow now comes into the pits. So where is Shadow going to come out in relation to Carlsberg? He's gone one lap longer. So GT Mac is into the pits as well. So Canados then, is Canados going to retake the lead of this race as what I believe was the net leader? With Muhammad Ali closely following behind, but Muhammad Ali dives into the pits. So Muhammad Ali on those mediums, empty fuel, and he's into the pits as well. The Canados does retake the lead of this race, followed by P. White, followed by Pablo Jr., followed by Carlsberg. Carlsberg is out, it has gone through, and he is well past Shadow, and Shadow taking on more fuel. And Shadow is out on soft tyres, so different strategy approach there from Shadow. He still now needs to run the hard compound tyres, as it looks like P. White and Pablo are battling through. Not quite got through yet, Pablo, but he's still going for it. As they come down towards the halfway point of the lap. Lap 18 of 32, and we've had some great battles so far this race. Absolutely fantastic stuff. This track can throw up all manner of different things. So many slipstream opportunities, as well as intricate corners. Some great opportunities for braking zone passing and various different things. So it's been a great watch so far, and long may that continue. As P. White looks to have just stretched a little bit of a gap there from Pablo, so we'll just have a little dive down through the field, see how everybody else is going. So Paris is there in fifth, working his way back up through the field. Carlsberg has had a great stop, but I don't think he took on any fuel, so he's out on those hard tyres. He's going to be pitting, I'd imagine, so this will be his second lap. So at the end of this lap, I'd imagine he's going to do a short stint on these hard tyres, as Paris now comes in to get rid of his hard tyres. He's done what would that be? A 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 lap, 5 lap stint on those hard tyres. The rest will, I would imagine, be on softs. Shadow now coming up to lap Duke Fresh. You should get out of the way pretty quickly. He's not battling him, although he does stay on the racing line. He's still trying to by that position, but he does eventually yield. I'm sure Shadow won't be thanking him for that, as obviously Shadow battling for the lead of this race by strategy, I believe, as things are unfolding. But we got P. White, Carlsberg and Pablo battling out for second, third and fourth now, as positions have changed, strategies unfold. Carlsberg will be coming in, I'd imagine, like I said, the end of this lap though, so the battle is on between Pablo and P. White. And P. White just goes deep again, as does Carlsberg. Always, it's so easy to do. They're out around that left-hander. And P. White goes deep. Pablo gets a slightly better exit by the look of it. I don't think he's close enough to have a run on him though. As they cross the start-finish line and start lap 20 of 32. Carlsberg does indeed dive into the pits, so that is going to put him behind Shadow, but Shadow will still need to stop for the hard tyres. Oh, Sai looking to send one up the inside of Speed Demon, and he does so. Sai gets the job done on the Speed Demon, but he's got Duke Fresh there in the way. The lapped Duke Fresh not really moving out of the way as we come through. He's on the racing line and in the braking zone and not yielding at that position. He's been throwing the blue flags, but I don't think he's seen them. And Sai now will now hopefully get through, as will Speed Demon. Although Duke Fresh now takes up the racing line, and Speed Demon is going to be absolutely raging in his helmet there, as that does make it a bit more challenging for Speed Demon to get in behind Sai, but they both got through and they're off, and Speed Demon can now focus back on trying to get past Sai up ahead. As we go on, the Shadow is just about to, is looking like he's going to take fastest lap of the race so far from Muhammad Ali, believe it or not. It was Canados. Muhammad Ali has pumped in the fast lap of the races. Smith gives the barrier a good old whack for good measure. And Muhammad Ali, oh no, that one the batter. So Carlsberg then, that was where I was looking, sending one up the inside of G Smith there, but he thinks better of it, backs out, and now, oh, and great, G Smith is, I think he got on the throttle too early there, and he's gone round. I don't think there was contact. Let's have a little look. So Carlsberg yields, rolls off the throttle. Yeah, nowhere near, and G Smith is in the barrier for good measure, and probably dropping to, well, not quite the back of the field, but dropping well back. As we get back up to our leader of this race, as things stand, Canados is out in front, pole sitter and the current race leader by a good healthy margin from P. White, who is still fending off Pablo. P. White really wants this position. But not quite close enough to have a look there, so off up through the fast left-hander, up towards the fast left-hander they go. Do they both keep it on the track? They do, so no dirty tyres, and Pablo looks to drop back a little bit as we go down through the field. So Shadow up again through sector 2, gets cleanly through that fast left-hander, and off he goes. Fly then in 5th, Speed Demon, as Canados now comes in for what is surely going to be his final stop. It's really going to be interesting to see where these guys come out. Shadow takes the lead of this race. The Shadow is through on those soft tyres. Can he? We already know he's got to come back in for the hard tyres. Will he just do the minimum 3 laps at the end of this race? As Sai on mediums, probably likely to need to stop again. Maybe not. I think fuel might be a problem for him as well. Speed Demon looks to be in much the same position, well, worse position. He's got much less fuel. Grano Motorsport though, if he could get those softs to the end of the race, he may well stay out. Can't remember if he's been on hards or not. GT Mac, freshish softs, plenty of fuel, may well be looking to do the same thing. What's happened to Canados? Oh, Canados had come in for his final pit stop, hadn't he? The Canados on those soft tyres, out of the pits and in 6th place. So if the guys ahead don't have to pit, Canados is going to have to pass them. As P. White has definitely fended off the challenge from Pablo for now. Carlsberg dropped right the way back down the field. Appears to have had a bit of a nightmare outlap, and not very quick at all, considering the pace he had been showing. We are expecting some more stops up ahead though, so this might just be a false picture that we're seeing. As Science Speed Demon go into the pits. Grano Motorsport stays out. GT Mac stays out, as does Duke Fresh, who's already a lap down. The Canados now up to 4th. And PY definitely has broken that spirit from Pablo Jr. there. Pablo dropping back a little bit each lap at the moment. Oh, both have been in the pits, that's why. So they've both been in the pits and come out pretty much in the same positions they were in before they went in the pits, but perhaps P. White has saved a little bit more fuel than he needed to, and that's allowed him to fill up less. As they go, as P. White takes us round that penultimate left-hander, you can see there is quite a substantial gap there between the two of them. Get back up to the top of the field. So we've got Shadow out in front by a good margin, but he needs a good margin if he's going to win this race, because he's got to come in for a final stop to put on the hard tyres, so he will be a bit of a sitting duck to anybody even remotely close to him, as the chances are they will be on a faster compound. So he really needs to make those soft tyres work, and he's got a car in between himself and Treno, which has been lapped. So Treno Motorsport there in 2nd place. I think Shadow might have enough of a gap to make sure he comes out in front, but whether he could keep it there is another matter. Well, we've got this little bit of a lull. Another ideal opportunity for me to just thank everybody for watching the commentary of these races. If you do like what you see, please, or hear, shall I say, please give us a tick, give us a like on the post, subscribe to my YouTube channel for future races, and obviously to review past races that I cover. If you are interested in joining up with the Ultimate Racing League and joining any of our leagues, please do give us a shout in the comments, and we can get in touch and get you involved. Another big thank you to Muhammad Ali, who is the host for this lobby. I host the Pro League, and Muhammad Ali kindly offered to host the Pro-Am League for this season and last season. So a massive shout out and thank you for him, and for also sharing the replays, for which I can obviously bring you the race coverage. Shadow has got a very, very good margin now, and those lap times looking to make real use of those soft tyres as he comes towards the point where he will have to change and go onto the hard compound tyre. Brandon Motorsport there in second, a great job from him as well. Looking forward to seeing these guys pull into the pits and do their final stops if they are making them. Try and bring this the pack much closer together as the race brews on. But now Canados has managed to drag himself up to the back of GT Mac here, and as they go down the start-finish line, across the start-finish line, Canados is going to be tucked in behind GT Mac. He has a little look up the inside there, but nothing, no door open. So he's going to have to wait until the next one, but he's going to have a run on him down into the chicane. He hasn't quite got enough, close enough, or has he? Oh no, he sends out the inside. He catches GT Mac, but he rolls off immediately, admits he made that mistake, holds back. Great sportsmanship there from Canados. Really unfortunate to have, he saw an opportunity where the door was open, and then it just got slammed in his face. He had nowhere to go, but he did put his car there, and now he moves to the inside of GT Mac. Hopefully GT Mac didn't have any damage. He didn't. So they're side by side going down towards the left-hander. Canados on the outside, GT Mac trying to hold it on the inside. And side by side through that turn is not an easy thing to do. Literally door rubbing through there. Great stuff. Clean, but hard fall. As they go up through the fast kink section, and GT Mac's going to have to yield, or he's going to end up in the barrier here, and he does yield. Now P White is having a little look. P White getting interested in the back end of GT Mac. Is he going to get a good exit? It looks like he did, so P White's got a good exit. Is that slipstream going to be strong enough to drag him through past GT Mac? He's getting closer and closer. I think he is too far back. Yeah, looking at that, he's too far back, unless he just manages to send one down to the inside. The camera does allow for it. He has a look. Not quite close enough, but GT Mac definitely knows he's there. Although he's having a look now as they come through towards the chicane. Again, nothing, not quite close enough. But all the while, GT Mac is more and more aware that P White is there in his mirror, waiting to pounce, or trying to carve out a move. As they come up through the back straight once again. 6 laps to go to the end of this race, including this one. And P White is, he's got a good kick of oversteer there, and that's going to hold him back. But that isn't the worst thing coming up to the fast left-hander, as if you could get it right and you've got a gap to the car in front, you could slingshot it through there and get through on the way down into the penultimate turn. But that didn't happen for P White. He's good on the brakes there, and he's got a good clean exit as well. That is going to drag him right up to the back of GT Mac by the end of this straight. I still think he's not quite close. No, he's definitely not close enough to have a go down into turn 1 at this point. But that could change as the straight wears on, and we're on to. Sorry, I think that's we're on to lap the 5th. We're 5 laps from the end of this race, I should say. There's P White now getting closer and closer to GT Mac. P White having a little look at the space down the inside there. Is he going to do him on the brakes? No, he's not. He takes a wider line, which is going to give him a good cut back on the way down on the back straight, and it has done. So he's had a great exit. So he takes to the inside line of the first part, which is going to give him the outside line run down into the 90-degree left-hander. And can he hold on? They're side by side going into the braking area. GT Mac brakes late. P White takes a little bit early, he goes to the cutback, and P White's got it done on the cutback, or has he? They're side by side through the fast kink section on the way out to the fast left-hander. P White's going to have the inside line for that left-hander. He gets it done before the left-hander. Great stuff from P White. Great move as GT Mac goes wide into the barrier there a little bit. And P White's got that move done, and he's up into 4th place. Great stuff from P White there. Fantastic stuff. As we see Shadow is now pulled into the pits. That is going to lose him track position there to Canados, who's not going to have to stop again. Shadow comes out of the pits. Oh, it's just behind Canados. But Shadow has come out of the pits. He is on those hard tyres, so he would have been a bit of a sitting duck there, as GT Mac has also come into the pits. But Trano Motorsport has stayed out, assuming he's already been on the hards. The Trano Motorsport has got a sniff of the race win here with 4 laps to go, including this one. And if he can make those tyres last, he's got a good shout here. Canados has got a lot of work to do, but he is on fast, soft tyres, and we know he's got pace. Shadow also got pace, but he's on those hard tyres. So P White is going to be right on his rear end very, very soon, I would imagine. But the spirit of Pablo Jr. has been broken, and he has dropped well back. I would hasten to guess that he's had an issue, but we're not going to go back and check that out, because we want to make sure we get everything covered of this race. So Pablo Jr. then a little bit lonely now in 5th place. Perez, despite earlier leading the race, it shows you how strategies can unfold. He's dropped back down through the field a little bit from those heights, and he's holding on to 6th place at the moment from Muhammad Ali in 7th. Again, this likewise with Carlsberg, strategy plays a big part in these endurance races. As Trano Motorsport does indeed come into the pits, that will be, I would imagine, for the hard compound tyre. Then he's yet to serve minimum of 3 laps on the hard tyres, so that will likely be what he is doing. Yep, and he does indeed come out of the hards just behind Perez and Muhammad Ali. So we now have our net leader. As I said earlier in the race, I had a feeling it was the case. Net leader is Canados, and he is out in front of this race, with Shadow in 2nd, with P White battling him now for that 2nd spot. These guys look to be your podium sitters. They've all stopped. No one needs to go back in again. This is going to be a straight out dogfight to the end of the race, as Perez looking to hold off Muhammad Ali as well, and the Carlsberg are going to hold off Sai. There are a couple of battles brewing down through the field. More blue flags being waved. Doesn't look like P White's got. He might have got a good exit at that left-hander there. Essentially, he's a long way back from Shadow at the moment. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants that 2nd spot. As they come down into the braking zone, and he closes right. Oh, he gets caught out there by the braking of Shadow. What happened there? Well, into the braking zone, and Shadow braking really heavy on those hard tyres, so obviously lacking in confidence. And P White gets that move done out of nowhere. I did not think he was going to be close enough soon make that move happen, but he did, and he's through. So PY up into second spot. Long way back, I think, from Canados. A bit too much to overcome across the last 2 laps of this race. The Shadow then in third. He's going to have to settle down and make sure that fuel gets him to the end. He's not going to catch PY. The offset tyre compound isn't going to allow for that. And then Pablo is in 4th place, all on his own there. Great stuff from Pablo. Paris then in 5th, still with Muhammad Ali battling away with him. Toronto Motorsport there in 7th. Unfortunate with his strategy a little bit, but he showed some really strong pace. Different stages through this race. It's been great to see. As Carlsberg still trying to fend off Sty. That might have actually been the other way round when we went through the last time. So the field spread out at the back, but not at the front. Oh no, that's the lapped G Smith as we're about to be lapped G Smith, and Canados gets that done nice and quick. G Smith carries on his line and allows plenty of room and space for Canados to get through. To start and that's on to the final lap of this race. PY then comfortably out in front in 2nd place. Shadow seems to be struggling. I reckon he's gone up onto a higher fuel map because his pace has just fallen off a cliff. And I reckon it is what I thought, that fuel's going to struggle to get to the end of this race. The Pablo is probably going to just sail past Shadow on the back straight coming up. It'd be really unfortunate for Shadow, put in a great performance last time out at Brands Hatch. Not quite worked out for him here at Sardinia. Yeah, he's not quite close enough to make the move just yet, but working on it. And Shadow does appear to be saving that fuel. As we go back up to the start of the front of the race. Oh, we've lost someone. Oh, it looks like it's it's G Smith. G Smith has spun on that fast left-hander. I thought it was one of the leaders then for a minute, but Canados has got through unscathed and takes the final turn down towards the checker flag, and he takes that checker flag for a well-deserved race win. Pole position, race win, but not quite fastest lap, as PY now comes across the line for 2nd place, with Shadow just holding on to 3rd, for Pablo in 4th. Here's HKRT Paris, he comes around the final corner for 5th, with Muhammad Ali just behind him in 6th. Toronto Motorsport brings it home in 7th, and then we've got Carlsberg bringing it home in 8th. He looks happy with that. Fly in 9th, Speed Demon in 10th, and then next across the line is GT Mac. Bit of a shame after his early front run-ins, but he crosses the line in 11th place. And then not last but not least, but final one stuck across the finish line is Vane. The penultimate one's crossed the finish line will be Vane, and he brings it home in 12th place. G Smith a lap down in 13th place. I'm not sure how that's worked. Oh yes, yep, so a lap down in 13th, and then Duke Fresh just coming round the penultimate corner there. Fair play to Duke Fresh for keeping it going throughout that whole race, despite obviously struggling with this track. And he brings it home across the start finish line for a couple of points to his championship total. Really good to see him finish the race. And that leaves us with one final thing to say. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, URL EnzoJack, if you want to watch further races from the GrTwosdays Championship. And we shall see you next time out for the GrTwosdays Championship with the Ultimate Racing League. Thanks for watching.